What's up, everybody? I feel like it's been such a long time since I came on to do these videos. Unfortunately, I had an issue with my internet. So my internet went out and I had to wait a whole week to get it fixed. So anyway, I'm back in the game and I am so glad to be back with y'all, sharing some good information on today. If you are new to my channel, I just want to say what up though. My name is GabbySpeaks, and what I do is focus on positivity, self-help, anything to help you, improve yourself overall. I want to say shout out to my old subscribers. Y'all have been rocking with me for quite some time. Well, it's been 3 months, but you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for 3 months, so I just want to say shout out to y'all for hanging in there with me. Well, today, y'all, I'm going to talk about setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is really, really important because when you look at your overall life and what it takes to maintain peace and happiness, self-care, self-love, all of that, you have to set boundaries. Now, I want to give different examples of how you set boundaries with who, because we deal with so many people throughout the day. Some of y'all have kids, some of y'all have in-laws, some of y'all unfortunately live with toxic family members. So we're gonna talk about all of that. So first thing is first, I want to specifically talk about when you trying to set boundaries with people of the opposite sex. So some people have platonic friendships. So that means if you a male and you have a female friend, you want to try to set boundaries because y'all shouldn't, if y'all are like friends, y'all ain't trying to take it to the next level, y'all ain't trying to become boyfriend, girlfriend, y'all ain't trying to marry each other, but y'all just straight up friends, some things y'all should not be doing. If, for example, okay, y'all shouldn't be laid up in a bed together. You should not be touchy-feely with each other. Y'all shouldn't be, kissing and showing affection because y'all are just what? Platonic friends. Now, me personally, I don't really have, male friends. I don't hang out with any males because that's just my preference right now. But anyway, my belief is you have to set those boundaries. So if you the type that you have a lot of male friends, if you're a female, or if you're a male, you have a lot of female friends, it's important to set that boundary. I want to say that I don't think it's appropriate to be up all times of the night talking to, your male friend or your female friend, especially if you have a significant other. Like if you're in a relationship, like an intimate relationship, you should not be up 2 o'clock in the morning talking to your male friend or female friend, because what does that say to your significant other? That you basically don't care, you don't respect y'all's relationship. So those are some things that we have to start thinking about. Another thing is sometimes adults, they have grown children who are overly dependent upon them. Okay, so an example is like sometimes people call their parents for money all the time, or every time you turn around, the adult child is in a crisis. Well, if you have older parents or busy parents, they're not gonna always want to, well, I'm not saying they don't care about your crisis situation, they do, but you got to think about how that may affect them mentally. So you don't want to just, call them every time something go wrong, because they probably have their own stuff that they're dealing with. So you being the parent, you may want to tell your adult child, hey, look, this time you probably need to figure it out for yourself, or I have lended you $50 this month, so I'm not going to continue to give you money every single time. Because as an adult child, you should be able to come up with a budget for yourself, or come up with a plan, like if you do find yourself in a crisis. Now, I understand sometimes when you get into a crisis situation, you probably don't have a choice but to call on somebody. But don't make that a pattern, because that's gonna affect your parents and they're gonna be worried and stuff. I know my parents, they're easily worried. That's why I don't really, tell them everything that come up with me, because they're gonna be worried about me, and I don't want that. But yeah, it's important for parents to set those boundaries with their adult children. Another thing is, when you're a parent, don't allow your adult children to like cuss you out, talk to you any kind of way. I don't think that's appropriate. Like, if you find yourself getting that heated or getting that upset, don't just walk away or something, or hang up the phone, because when you're cursing them out and yelling, I mean, that's gonna hurt their feelings. So those are some things to think about. Setting boundaries is really important in that parent-adult-child relationship, especially if you want to maintain a healthy relationship with your mom, dad, child, whatever. Another example of setting boundary is, when you are in a relationship. I feel like it's been forever since I've been in a relationship, but you have to tell that person straight up what your boundaries are, because that way y'all are all on the same page. This person isn't catching you by surprise, and you're not lowering your standards to fit their standards. You never want to do that. I don't care if you're a male or female. You never want to lower your standards or forget about your boundaries just because this person is just so mesmerizing. No, you don't want to do that, because you need to stay true to who you are. So, for example, my mindset moving forward is, when I do get into a relationship, when that time come up, I'm not going to like allow him to come over here to my place if we're not exclusive, right? So if we plan on going on dates and stuff, we'd be out in the community, public places, where we are around other people, because I'm trying to get the feel of him. He's trying to get the feel of me, and I need to see how you interact around other people too. Because if you come into my place and we're secluded, I don't really know. I don't have a good gauge of how you interact with other people if we're always at my place. So I'm not gonna bring a guy to my place until I know that, hey, we legit. So that's a boundary that I have. Another boundary is, you ain't staying the night. I don't care if you do stay 2 and 3 hours away. You're not spending the night, because that leads to other things. So that's a boundary that I have. And what I notice is, sometimes people are not gonna respect your boundary. So what do when people don't respect your boundary? You cut it off. Simple as that. I don't care if y'all been rocking for 3 years or 3 months or whatever. If that person cannot respect you when you say it's time to go home, because around 12 o'clock at night, I'm feeling some kind of way, so you need to leave. If they be like, no, I ain't gonna do nothing, no pressure, I ain't gonna touch you, da-da-da. 9 times out of 10, that person don't respect your boundaries, and they will go as far as you let them go. So, again, it's time to cut it off. They can't respect your boundary. And if that's happening early on in y'all relationship, just imagine what's gonna happen later on down the line. So, something to think about. Let's see, another way to say, I want to talk about this. So, some of y'all live with toxic family members, and I know that can be very difficult when you live with a toxic family member or family members, especially if you don't give off those toxic vibes. So realistically, you have to do certain things to maintain your peace of mind. You have to do certain things to maintain your sanity. So, number one, you want to understand that your needs are important. Okay? Now, me, I'm the type of person where I like quiet. I like peace and quiet. That's why I'm glad I live by myself. But for those of you who may have toxic family members, you might don't get that peace and quiet unless you're in your room. So I would say, especially like if you had a hard day at work or you didn't have a good day, it's best to just go in your room, maybe meditate or something, or turn the music on, so understanding that your needs are important. So you never want to put somebody else's needs in front of your needs. That's my opinion. I know that sounds selfish, but it is what it is. Because one thing that I always told myself is that my happiness, my joy, my peace is gonna come before anything else. So you have to understand what your needs are. If you feel like, you know what, I need some time to myself, even though if you are in the house with a lot of people, it's okay to be in your room or whatever, to just meditate and spend that time alone, because that's just something that you are in need of right now, and there's nothing wrong with that. You want to seek out people who value you. So let's say, okay, you do stay in the house with toxic folks or whatever, and you can, maybe if you have like friends or other extended family members or whoever, co-workers that respect you and they value you and you have a good time with them, those are the people that you want to be around, because guess what? They're not going to give you a headache. They're not going to put you down. They're not going to be selfish and not consider your needs, okay? So it's very important to surround yourself with somebody that value you, because guess what? When they value you, they're going to love you, and they're going to be interested in what your needs are. So it's not just about them. It's just not one-sided. They're going to ask you questions. How you feeling today? What you need? Is there anything that I can do for you? So that's different ways that people that value you, those are some things that they will say. The third tip to setting boundaries with toxic family members is be firm but kind. Be firm but kind. All right. So I'm gonna give you an example. Like, let's say if you have a family member who every time you turn around, they got something negative to say about this person and that person. Nothing satisfies them. Nothing is ever good enough. And like, let's say if you're just not in the mood to listen to all that right now, something that you might want to say is, right now is not a good time, to talk to me about that. Thank you. Okay, so you see, you're not cursing, you're not putting them down, but you're just being firm and letting them know, hey, look, now is not a good time, to be talking about that to me, because I just don't want to hear it. So you're not being ugly, but you're being firm. Number 4, keep your expectations realistic. So let's say if you actually have your own place, but you going to like a family barbecue, and the whole squad gonna be there, the whole family gonna be there, even the toxic folks, they're gonna be there. Okay, well, if your barbecue, if y'all family cookout gonna last from like 2 o'clock all the way to 10 o'clock at night, that's a long time to be around these toxic family members. And so, some people get to drinking and getting high and all that at the family event. So now, people, emotions are going to be high. People mood going to change. So realistically, that it's probably not healthy for you to be at that family cookout from 2 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. That's a long time. So what you should do is say, okay, you can already have it in your mind before you get to the cookout that I'm going to be here for like maybe an hour or two and I'm out of here. Because I know by 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, they're going to get the drinking and they're going to get the music turned up, and they're going to turn up, So it's good to already have that in the back of your mind that, okay, I'm just going to stay for 2 hours, because I know Uncle JJ going to, start cutting the food, and, Auntie Barbara, she going to, start cussing everybody out, whatever. So when you already, because y'all know your family members, so you already know what your triggers are. That's another thing. You have to already know what your triggers are. And just be mindful of that. So set that realistic expectation that, all right, I'm going to show my face, I'm going to show support, but I'm only going to be here 2 hours and I'm out. Okay, that's realistic, right? Because that's enough to, talk to the people that you want to talk to. And that's enough time to eat. Oh, and I will say this now. You probably want to distance yourself too, so that you don't be around Aunt Barbara and Uncle JJ. Because if you already know how they are, and when you get there, if their energy is off, don't even go approach them. That's what I would suggest. Don't even go over there towards them, because in any moment they can say something, to flip you off. Number 5, be willing to walk away. So that's kind of like what I was saying. After them 2 hours is up, okay, y'all, it was good to see y'all. I'll see y'all in the next month or next year, whenever y'all gonna do the barbecue again. So it's okay to walk away. And because I feel like when you realize that, like, let's say you get into an argument with somebody or disagreement, and some people you just can't reason with. And so when you can't reason with that person or those people, sometimes it's just best to walk off, because you know that you tried your best, you did what you could, but sometimes you just got to dip on out of there. And that doesn't mean that you are weak. It does not mean that you were being rude, but you just did what was best for you. Especially if you want to leave without any disorderly conduct going on. So it's best to leave, walk away, do what you got to do. Number 6, keep in mind that you are in charge of what you do. So if somebody curse you out, I'm just being real. If somebody sit here cursing me out and, put me down, it's going to be real hard for me to stay cool. But at the end of the day, you are in charge of your actions. You can't help if somebody else, is toxic, or, they just bring this negative energy. But you can control what you do. So, for example, like I said, if somebody get drunk or they just doing a lot of trash talking, you can't control what's coming out their mouth. But you can say, you know what, I'm just going to, walk away or go home, or if they carrying on when you're on the phone with them, say, you know what, all right, I got you. Well, I got to go because I got stuff to do, and hang up. Because you can control, the things that you say or what you do. So you don't have to get out of character. And shout out to the people who can maintain their self. I'm still working on that. But I will say shout out to people who can, easily walk away and not entertain foolishness. That's really good. I'm a work in progress. Pray for me. Number 7, you want to be direct. And for example, like, let's say if somebody come into your face, talking out loud or whatever, and you ain't trying to hear that. Well, you can say something like, do not talk to me or yell at me. So you being direct, because you letting them know, hey, look, now it's not a good time. I don't want to hear from you. But you're not yelling, you're not cursing them out. You just simply being direct and telling them, hey, look, don't talk to me. And you're not beating around the bush, you're not being passive aggressive, but you just letting them know straight up, I don't want to talk to you. So that's not being rude or whatever, but again, you just setting that boundary and letting them know what you want and what you don't want. And that kind of leads to learn to be assertive. Some people are so sweet, where they let people just run all over them. They let people just use them as a doormat or talk to them like they're nothing. And y'all, I find that to be utterly disgusting. I cannot see, my heart rate is just going up right now just thinking about that, because we are all humans. All of us got feelings. All of us have a heart and soul. So you have to be mindful of how you talk to people. And I know that, like, we're not perfect or whatever, but, like, for example, if I'm mad at somebody the best thing that you can do is not say anything to me, and I will not say anything to you. Give me like 5 minutes to calm down, get my thoughts together. And if you are a reasonable person, then I can come back to you and I can talk to you like the adults that we are, right? But some people, I have seen people talk to folks like they just yesterday's garbage. That is so disrespectful. And I think it's just downright rude, because how can you have a relationship with someone if all they do is just talk to somebody like they're trash, you know? And if you have self-love and self-worth, then you're not going to tolerate that. I know I'm not, because I don't give off that kind of energy. I don't come at people sideways. But now when you come at me, then that's a different story. I'm just saying. So, you want to stand up for yourself. So like if somebody is, talking to you, yelling at you or whatever, and you might tell them, I need you to back away because I need my personal space. Okay, that's an example of being assertive. So it's a difference between being assertive and being aggressive. Okay, so let's say, okay, we all know what aggressive is. So if somebody is in your face and they talking out loud and, clapping and all this here, like they're ready to fight, okay. And then if you come back at them and you clapping in their face and cursing and stuff like that, now that's an example of being aggressive. But, again, just saying I need you to back away because I need my personal space. That's being assertive, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you're simply letting them know that I need my space. You have interrupted my peace, and I need you to back all the way up and go somewhere. But you're saying it in a nice, assertive way. Okay? So, yeah, that's pretty much, the way that you can set boundaries with people. And I'm just thinking a boundary that I recently set is, since I done started back getting up early in the morning, working out, I'm so proud of myself, because that junk is hard. Like waking up, I set my alarm at 5:45 now, to work out. So since I have to get up so doggone early, I be in bed like by 8 something, and I don't answer the phone, well, not to be rude, but I be asleep. So, and I have my phone on silent. So that's the boundary that I have. My phone is on silent. I'm not on the phone past 9 o'clock because I have to get in bed, go to sleep, so I can be up at 5:45. Because ain't nobody else, well, I ain't gonna say nobody else doing it, but the people I talk to, they're not getting up at 5:45 to go work out. So, with that being said, I'm in bed by 8 o'clock. And I try to be asleep by 9 o'clock. So anybody that call me beyond 9 o'clock, I'm sorry. We're going to have to catch each other tomorrow. It just is what it is. But, yeah, never feel. And then another thing is people will try to make you feel bad for setting boundaries. Like, but I'm going to tell you now, nobody's going to make me feel bad about setting boundaries, because that all goes back to self-care. Now, some people may be offended with what I'm going to say, but it's the truth, so I speak facts. So the thing is, I feel like in our community, in the African-American community, we're not necessarily taught boundaries when it comes down to dealing with toxic people or, just people in general. I know, especially, I can speak from personal experience. This is what gets me, is when people say, oh, this person is just the way there is, how they are. No, forget that, because this is my thing. If a person is vexing my spirit, GabbySpeaks is not going to put her happiness or her peace to the side just because this is how this person presents themselves. No. Some behaviors are intolerable. I'm not going to tolerate, disrespect. You're not going to yell at me. You're not going to talk at me like I'm this small. Absolutely not. So with that being said, in the Black people community, we got to teach our children that you should not tolerate disrespect. And I don't care if it's your blood sibling or cousin, aunt, uncle, whoever. I don't care, family or not. Like, it's not okay for anybody to be disrespectful towards you. And when you see that happening, it's good to stop that behavior early on, because nobody is entitled to deal with your mess. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got to do better with teaching self-love in our Black community, because it's really important. And when we do not cultivate that early in life, then what happened is you have this person who just let people walk and talk all over them any kind of way and handle them any kind of way. And that's not right. You know, especially if this is a nice, decent person. Like, they don't deserve, you know, a bunch of foolishness and people disrespecting them, dishonoring them. No. So we have to do better than that. And I'm a huge stickler for self-love and self-care. Setting boundaries, really important. And if you don't understand, then maybe you should start doing some research or something. But setting boundaries is really important when you're dealing with family or relationships, friends, everybody. It's really important, because if you don't set those boundaries, then you're just gonna have people run all over you, and that's not right, you know. And it took me a long time to learn that, but whew, I'm glad I got to that point, because it's just not worth it. Nobody should have to sacrifice their happiness and their peace of mind just because somebody want to be foolish. I don't condone that. So, but anyway, that was kind of weighing on me all week, and I'm sorry this is a late video because, like I said, my internet was out. So anyway, I'll be back with probably some more videos in the next coming week, or maybe a few days, who knows. But yeah, stay tuned. Thank y'all so much for tuning in, and go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed. Excuse me. And feel free to share my video. Remember, y'all, to stay focused, stay positive, and stay blessed. See ya.